Most teams don't fail at sticking with consistent habits because they don't care. They fail because the habit never becomes part of the workday. It often starts strong, then disappears by week 3. So in this video, I'll share with you the simple systems that can help habits stick across teams consistently, ultimately leading to team success. Now, before we can implement habits at work, we first need to understand habits and the habit process, because habits often consist of the habit loop. And this consists of 3 key stages: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Now, the cue is the thing that triggers you or prompts you to take part in the habit. The routine is the habit itself. And the reward is the satisfaction that you get from the habit. Now, in the workplace, this could also be reframed as behavior, implementation, and results. What are the behaviors that are going to trigger you to take part in the habit? What is the habit itself, and how are you going to implement it? And what is the benefit that your team in your workplace get from implementing this habit? So let's look at a 5-step framework to stick with and implement positive habits across teams. Now, to make this more specific, I thought I'd use the habit of being more productive. And the way we're going to do that is by using the Eisenhower matrix tool, which I've mentioned in a few other videos. So the specific habit is using this tool. So the first key thing is to make your habit obvious. Make a specific plan. Every Monday morning, I am going to look at the Eisenhower matrix tool and prioritize what work needs to get done immediately and what work I can schedule for later. I will do this behavior at this time in this location, and reframe that to your team. We will do this behavior at this time in this location. We will go through our to-do lists together on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. to prioritize the tasks that need to get done first so that we can work together more efficiently. Now, setting this as a habit is one thing, but sticking to it is another. And a great way to implement this is to use a method called habit stacking. Now, after this habit, I will do the new habit. After current habit, I will do the new habit. So what do you already do as part of your work week that is a consistent habit continuously? So why not link this new habit onto that habit? At the end of our weekly Monday meeting, we will discuss prioritizing our workflow. It needs to be relevant and specific to you, but in order to implement a habit at work, it first needs to be obvious. Now, step 2 is to make it attractive. How can you make this new habit attractive? How can you sell it to your team so that they're empowered and excited about sticking with this habit rather than avoiding it? Could you reward yourself or your team for completing this habit? Or you could use a method called temptation bundling. Now, this is where you link something you want to do with something you need to do. So perhaps while prioritizing your to-do list together, you could all drink a nice cup of coffee or eat some delicious healthy fruit. I don't have all the answers. I just have the framework. So how can you make it attractive? Now, the third stage is to make it easier or easy. Make it as easy to adopt as possible. Make it easy to stick with. As humans, we often gravitate towards the work which requires the least amount of work. So if this team meeting is on the 10th floor and it's easy to avoid, it's making it difficult for us, right? But if it takes place in a convenient location at a convenient time, when we're not overwhelmed with other tasks, then it makes it easier to show up, right? It makes it easier to attend. If, for example, everyone has to decide if they're coming to the office, but some live really far and can't make it into the office, then that's not making it easy for them, is it? So then in this case, it might be worth hosting the discussion about this online. How can you make this as easy to adopt as possible? And the fourth point is to make it satisfying. Having a weekly meeting about prioritization isn't necessarily the most fun thing in the world. But when people start seeing the results and the benefits from having this meeting, it starts to become satisfying. But what are other ways that you can make it satisfying? Is it having a tick box sheet to say that you've completed the task each week? Making the habit satisfying increases the chance that we'll repeat it. So how can you make it more satisfying in your team? And the fifth point I want to talk about is accountability, or using accountability partners. And this is often my favorite because I've seen the massive impact that this has not only had on individuals, but also teams across the world. So how can you keep each other accountable? Well, perhaps it's one person taking charge of the meeting each week. This way, someone has ownership. And if we don't do this meeting, maybe there are consequences. What are those consequences? Without the ability to keep each other accountable, this meeting may just stop happening. And then the method you was using to improve your productivity no longer happens, which then means you're less productive, more chaotic, more stressed, more likely to take time off work, call in sick, and company go on a massive downturn. But if you have good habits, you can avoid all of this. Now, I know this may be adding to another team meeting, and I know many workplaces are tired of team meetings. But for 7 meeting ideas that energize teams, why not check out this video here? But remember, a happy workforce is a productive workforce.